Drak, hold my beer while I introduce this blog.
Oh, come on now, Alex. I know last time you told me to hold your beer, we didn't end up with an introduction. We ended up with a monologue.
It can't be helped. I'm a very sensitive person who likes to talk.
I know you have your thoughts, and you must display them thoughts. But no, what you need to do, sir, is hold my beer while I introduce this vlog here for you.
Well, then, I just had an epiphany. Why don't we both introduce this blog?
That is actually a great idea, and by that I mean it should be me.
Very well.
Welcome back to, I think this warrants a new segment in the vlogs, Alex. I think we need to dub this trailer bait, because this is now the second movie that we have officially vlogged, at least this year, that we had no interest in until we saw the trailers for it. In fact, I mean, unlike Rampage, which we knew what it was, we covered it. We knew that there was a movie coming out based on the arcade game, but we originally said, no, we're not watching that, and then all of a sudden, the trailers start coming out, and we're getting entertained by it. So we go see it. And the circumstance here is pretty much the same thing. We'd seen trailers of it, and said, huh, that looks kind of interesting, maybe we should see it. So I guess, should we just call this trailer bait, because we got baited in?
All right.
So welcome to our vlog of Action Point.
Action Point.
Now, I think one thing needs to be taken care of right off the bat, because this is a Johnny Knoxville movie, and I think it's his studio that did it. We have to address the elephant in the room, and that is Jackass. So, Alex, are you a fan of Jackass, either the TV series, the Bam Margera spinoff, or the various movies that have come out?
No.
And maybe like your exposure to Johnny Knoxville?
Not really. I never really watched Jackass growing up. And the most I think I've seen or know of Johnny Knoxville is because of his role in Men in Black 2. That's about it.
He's taken on a few roles here and there, but most of the time it's very rare, and he takes on roles that are kind of stupid. I'm thoroughly convinced that they're like, we have this really stupid character. Call Johnny Knoxville. I'm sure he's knocked enough screws loose in his head that we can make this work. My exposure to Jackass is simply this. I am actually the opposite of a majority of Americans. I hate Jackass. I think it is the stupidest thing ever. Why on earth was it entertaining to see people hurt themselves on a regular basis? Especially Johnny Knoxville, who I'm thoroughly convinced he can't have kids. He can't possibly have a majority of his organs anymore. You know, like, he's just done stupid stuff. And as far as he is concerned, like, the most entertaining I've actually ever seen Johnny Knoxville in was not in Men in Black 2. I thought he was stupid in that. But then again, Men in Black 2 is not necessarily my favorite. The only entertaining role I've ever seen him in was alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Walking Tall. So I find it really funny that the other trailer bait that we have, which starred Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and probably was the best thing about that damn movie, and now we're going to the other side of that equation with Action Point. So there you go. There's our exposure. Not really fans of Jackass, which is not appropriate here, because technically the way to look at this film is that it is Jackass with a storyline.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to be able to put it than that, because it's basically like we have a bunch of these Jackass stunts that we want to do, but then we want to put a plot line in there.
And movie had like 5 story writers and like maybe 1 or 2 script.
Well, and was Johnny one of them?
I don't know. Maybe he was. I know Mike Judge was a story writer. So
yeah, Mike Judge got brought in. Holy crap, man!
So, like, there's like maybe like 2 screenwriters and there's like 5 story by credits. So
yeah,
I don't know unless this was like one of those weird scripts that was floating around Hollywood for a while.
Yeah, probably. And then, like, because I think Hello Jr. is Knoxville's company. So at that point, like, they just picked it up and said, we'll just do a bunch of stupid stuff with it. And it thus became Hold My Beer, the movie.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go into the plot or anything like that, but even then, like, the plot is very simplistic.
It's a very thin plot.
It's a daddy-daughter story of, like, what I did on my summer vacation, and it just so happens that the daddy here owns a really rundown, defunct amusement park that has competition, but then the way that they decide to compete with their competition is to be absolute jackasses. And basically say, well, those guys have rules, so we won't. And so that's where in a lot of cases you get a lot of the, I can't think of a better way to put it other than like the stories you would hear at your local state fair kind of thing. Like stupid crap happening with the water slides, stupid crap happening with the rides, and the whole stereotype of like nobody at that state fair ever gives a crap about the people there.
See, there was a real theme park like this.
There was, yeah. That's the weirdest part about this whole thing, but that's roughly the story that's trying to be told.
When I saw the trailers, I was like wondering, is this like the story of that theme park?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's inspired by it, but it's not like the actual...
It's inspired by, but I have a feeling a lot of stuff was kind of, Johnny Knoxville at that point.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest here. He's the unofficial sixth writer on this, because a lot of jokes that happen there, I'm thoroughly convinced like 80% of his stunts he wrote personally. He's like, yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to fling myself into a barn door.
It's sort of like Tom Cruise and Johnny Knoxville are just trying to like outcompete each other in death-defying stunts. It's like, who's going to kill himself first?
Well, already I can tell you that one of them has the upper hand. Johnny Knoxville can kind of act. Oh, did I say that? Come on, everybody. We all are agreeing on it. Tom Cruise hasn't acted in like 15 years. Acted.
He's doing massive air quotes. We don't have a camera.
No, we don't. But he hasn't acted in 15 years. Like, let's just all be honest with each other. Maybe War of the Worlds he acted, maybe, but everything past that point, he's just like, I'm Tom Cruise, motherfuckers. And that's all he wants to do, is he wants to be, Tom Cruise, motherfuckers. If you don't believe me, go watch The Mummy. That's a perfect example of it. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Like, what did we like about Action Point?
You know, stupid as they are, the stunt pieces are entertaining.
You were laughing a lot more of that than I was, but it wasn't just like, it wasn't because I wasn't laughing, because I was. It's just, it wasn't like a laugh out loud moment. I was just more like, ooh, ah,
yeah,
like that's kind of my reaction to it. So it wasn't like I was laughing, but I was just like, oh geez, like that's really, that looks painful. Which I guess is what the Jackass fans would do. Is like, oh my gosh, how could you possibly agree to do that? But there were some really good moments in there. I will say this here and now. When it comes to comedy, I'm a lover of wordplay. I'm a love of witty humor. This has none of that.
No.
And it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be dumbass kind of thing. Like it's supposed to have tons of, how many really stupid stunts can we pull off? How many really disgusting looking gags can we pull off? It's not meant to have that kind of thing. It's for lack of a better term, because I think this is what Hollywood calls it, is hillbilly humor. That's what this is supposed to be. So at that point, it's not that, because I actually got into a debate with a friend of mine who was like, yeah, I wasn't laughing at all of it. And I'm just like, but were you reacting to the stunts and to the stuff that was happening? It's like, oh yeah, because it reminded me of stuff. Well, then they got you.
Yeah. They
got you simply because, like you were thinking of stuff that you'd heard about.
I mean, the funniest line probably is let God sort him out.
Oh yeah, at the pool. I was trying to. I'm like, I know that line, and no, yeah, it was the pool. I love the filming of the commercial because of all of the stupid stuff that would happen, like when they were trying to film it, and I don't know if it was rigged or not. And oh geez, like a lot of really great moments in this, I actually have to say, were with was he a brother or was he a cousin? The dude that was high the guy who actually did say, let God sort him out.
I don't think he had any relation other than he just worked there.
I think they said he was like a distant cousin or something like that to DC or Johnny Knoxville's character. So he was like a very distant relation. But at that point, like, most of the really good moments involve him.
Yeah.
Involve him just being high out of his mind and doing a bunch of stupid shit. So, like, either the let God sort him out, or the fact that he wants to turn on his girlfriend, and so he goes into the TV station to swap tapes and gets distracted by a nature magazine, only to find, like, a major producer, you know, brings his
mistress, probably
his mistress in for a quickie, and gets involved in that. Like, a lot of we both have to kind of admit, like, a lot of the good moments involved him in some way.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy who looks like Aaron Hansen. Did you notice that he looks a lot like Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps?
Not initially, but now I'm thinking about it.
Because I'm pretty sure even...
Do you want to know another thought that was happening to me during the movie?
I'm pretty sure the Grumps mentioned it, actually.
Do you want to know the other one that was occurring to me?
What?
The dude that was walking around with a sledgehammer all the time, like the one that they were thoroughly convinced was mentally challenged.
Right,
and all that.
killer.
Didn't he just look like a fitter-looking Jack Black?
I don't know. Not really.
Yeah, when I got face looks of him, I swear I got, like, actual facial things that I've gotten from Jack Black before. I was like, dude, it's like a fitter Jack Black. So you were having this moment where it's like, yeah, he looks like Aaron Hansen. I'm like, this guy looks like Jack Black. But yeah, so best gags of the film, because this is a comedy, and therefore, like, the value that it has is the gags that it pulls off.
Yeah, my favorite one, it's probably when the kid, the guy who, like, manages the finances for the park, he's like testing out the new zip line, and then the big
I like that one. And again, involving the dude.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what's this line doing here?
And he just cuts it, and of course he spills into the water. It's like, he can swim, right? And he just sinks.
He can swim, right?
He's okay. He lives.
Let God sort him out. Another good one was the not the initial gag, but the aftermath of it, which was the kid who tried to jump from the tree onto the water slide and went through it. And I'm not saying that stunt was funny. The aftermath of it was funny, in how DC was just like, oh, well, we'll just put some duct tape on there, we'll fix that. And then he looks at the big gaping wound that this guy has. First of all, they're having, like, a casual conversation, like, what the heck were you trying to do? Well, I thought if I jumped off the tree, I'd go faster. All right. I could see your viewpoint. And then he takes the duct tape, puts it on, and he's like, why are you putting duct tape on there? That's what it's for.
That's what we used it for in Vietnam.
Yeah, this is what we used in Vietnam. So you got that comment at some point at a state fair. So I like that one. And here's the sad part. Like, a lot of the really good gags involve Johnny Knoxville. The trying to create a catapult and throwing him into the barn door, that was pretty hilarious. And the best part about it is that they establish early on in the story that, like, whenever he has a major concussion, it's like when he has an epiphany, and that's another great idea that works. And so at that point, like, when they do something really stupid and he hits his head, you're just like, oh, well, here comes another epiphany. And that was another one with the barn door. The other one that made me laugh was, I couldn't figure out what it was. It was like Street Luge, where he was, like, trying out this whole thing.
Yeah.
And he falls off the track. That was actually pretty hilarious. Other ones for you.
You mentioned the catapult. That one's great.
The catapult one is good.
Anything like involving the sort of luge track. That's pretty fun.
I especially love the fact when the evil banker, his son is over there, and he, like, mildly sprains his arm on that luge track, and that's what causes, like, the first lawsuit that kind of ends Action Point.
Yeah. About the fact when the lawyer says, we're done here, and then and it's like the last day, he's already signed over the park, and he's like, anyone need a lawyer?
Yeah, exactly. I like that. I honestly thought, like, he was gonna, at that moment, was I the only one that thought, like, he was gonna blow up the park? Like,
I thought so,
right
too.
in front of him too. Like, basically he was just gonna do, like, this one big fireworks show to destroy the park. after he'd signed the paperwork. And then all of a sudden he opens up the gates. I'm like, wow, I actually didn't see that coming. I thought we were going to get a big puff of boom, and that's going to be the end of it.
I thought so too. But
and yeah, it didn't happen.
he hands over the rights and then just opens the park for business.
Yeah, except he's like, everybody want a free beer, and basically lets the customers rip the park apart for him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really appropriate. The other thing, too, that I just have to say about this Johnny Knoxville character, man, because, like, you gotta look at him as, like, either the luckiest son of a bitch ever or the most unfortunate, because, like, I'm gonna paint a picture for you, okay? Just think about playing, like, multiplayer Mario Kart with somebody like this. Like, you hate them because they get, like, every good item in Mario Kart, and they get it on lucky rolls all the time. But then it's okay because it's going to be entertaining. He's going to do something stupid physically, like he's going to get his head hit. And you're like, oh, man, he's the greatest friend ever. And then you're going to get frustrated with him. He hits his head again, and you're the best. That's what would happen here. Like, I'm thoroughly convinced if this guy was like in your D&D party, he'd be hitting like nat 20s on his dice all the time. But it'd be okay because somebody would slap him in the head with a book or something. And you're like, oh, it's okay, man. So
yeah.
That was the weirdest thing, too. And the other thing I want to bring up, because some of them were actually damn entertaining, was any time that they went back to him and the granddaughter, and he was still his dumbass self.
Yeah.
So I especially loved when the daughter comes home from a wedding or whatever she's doing, and she comes home to this big pile of Polaroids, and it's like 80% stupid shit that the granddaughter was able to get on film. Kind of thing. So like having the stove explode in your face, or having, what was he trying to do? He was trying to do a pull-up on the playground.
Yeah. And
then fell down and gave himself another concussion. So those were damn entertaining too. I especially love the whole revealing of his toes. So like, first of all, I'm like sitting there because he makes the whole mani-pedi thing as like an illegal.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, no, I was going to do you. And then they pull off the sock. He's got the nastiest looking toes ever. And she's still doing a pedi on him. He's like, oh, no. Oh, my toes are ticklish. Oh, I was like, what the crap? That was actually the point that made me laugh out loud a little bit, because holy crap, this is not what I expected from a movie that's supposed to be about an amusement park.
Yeah.
That would be the most funny moment there. That's a lot of the good moments. What did this film do wrong, as far as we're concerned?
It really is just a lot of frat juvenile humor. It's just, how dumb can we be?
Yeah, it really is. And in some of those cases, like, since it is coming from the guy who kind of authored Jackass, like, you know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
So at that point, you know that who exactly this film is painted for, and that is the Jackass crowd. Like, we were laughing in a few moments, but I think a lot of the jokes, like, we were kind of sitting there going, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And you know that a Jackass fan would have laughed at it. You know, like, they would have had a lot more fun with it. Like, the whole incident with the dude and the squirrel, that would probably have been something that they would have laughed their asses off at. But for me, it was just like, like, that's not sanitary. Or the alcoholic bear, that'd be another thing that people would be laughing at. I'm kind of surprised that bear never died. Because there's actually a point where they were giving him hard liquor. So it's like, wow, no bears were harmed in the making of this film. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, is like the stuff that we dislike about it is pretty much like the stuff that isn't going to be funny to us.
Yeah.
There's going to be all those moments where this is just kind of stupid and we can't see why that's funny. I actually thought after a while, the gags were so prevalent in the movie that actually bouncing back to real life stuff, like the perfect example I have is the son of the banker who decided to go cause shit with the kids who worked at the park, including DC's daughter, and all to just basically get them arrested so that even more bad publicity went to Action Point. I thought that was stupid, but then again, I also thought it was stupid as shit that, the son was the guy who apparently started up all the lawsuits, but when you look at the guy, seriously, a sprained wrist, That's your problem? You are buffer than 80% of your cast.
I think that, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point.
Yeah,
It's
I'm thoroughly convinced this guy could have been like a stuntman in Mission Impossible kind of thing. Like, he was that buff. And I'm just like sitting there going, we're supposed to believe, and yeah, that's kind of the point. But I'm just like sitting there going, are we supposed to fucking believe that this guy can't take a hit? And yeah, apparently no, he can't. I will admit that some of the other kids got on my nerves a little bit, just because they were stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like, they were stupid kids. But yeah, like, I can't say too many bad things about it. So let's go ahead and, so with the goods and the bads, where does Action Point sit for you?
I would just give it a 6.
Yeah, it's pretty average.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd probably be like a 5.5. I think it's slightly above average. To a Jackass fan, this would be like a C job kind of thing for Johnny Knoxville. But I can't necessarily put it high enough. And I know a lot of people are going to be screaming, but you guys were singing its praises. Yeah, but
I mean, for an hour and a half movie, we got our time worth out of it.
yeah, exactly. Like, for I mean, what better praise can we give this movie is that we laughed more in this than we did in frickin' Hell Caesar.
Yeah.
So at that point, you know, that's saying something, but it is still pretty much an average movie when you look at all the other stuff that's come out this year already. I mean, I think Rampage we laughed more.
Yeah.
And that was dumb as hell, and we scored higher. So that's kind of the deal there. So yeah, I've got a 5.5. You got a 6. So you're kind of giving it a solid D effort. I'm saying it's just below failing. So how much would we recommend that people spend on this?
Honestly, I wouldn't run out to the theater to see this. Just
No.
wait for Netflix, wait for Redbox, whatever. You don't need to run out.
If you're a Jackass fan, go and see it in the theaters, but see it as cheaply as possible, because I can't see who this is supposed to cater to other than that crowd. I really can't. And so at that point, it's justified for you to go see it in the theaters, but not at like primetime cost. It's not worth that. But yeah, I would be kind of there with you. Wait until it's streaming. Wait until you can get a DVD of it or something like that. Because look, the Jackass fan's gonna buy this.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, let your Jackass friend buy it, and then he brings it over for a movie night, kind of thing, and you'll get your money's worth. And by that I mean you paid nothing. You probably paid for the pizza, and that's about it. The other thing that I want to do, because if we're starting up a whole new segment, is, since we're calling this trailer bait, and by the way, I want that in the YouTube description. Okay. I want it to be like Drak and Shadow Vlogs trailer bait. Since we were brought in via the trailers, was it worth the payoff of what the trailers were telling us?
I think it's pretty much everything you could expect from the trailer.
Exactly. I don't want to say the trailers lied to us. No. I really don't. Compared to like Rampage, where I actually think it was probably a little bit more entertaining than the trailers made it out to be, this one was on the ball. I don't think you're being lied to about what it is. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's exactly what it's painting itself to be. Pretty
much. I can't think of really anything else other than to say than the trailers show you exactly what this movie's going to be, and you're not going to be, like, if you're interested, you're not going to be disappointed. But keep in mind, you're also not coming in to watch, Tale of Two Cities or something like that. It's not complex.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to go ahead and do it for the vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and for your continued support. And we're going to be taking a bit of a break, because our next official vlog together is going to be The Incredibles 2. I think that's the next one we've got.
I think so.
And then before then, though, I'm going to be taking on probably the next solo vlog, and it's going to be another bit of trailer bait, because I'm going to be taking on Hotel Artemis. A trailer that I just barely saw, starring Jodie Foster, Dave Bautista, and a couple of other people.
Jeff Goldblum. I'm very interested to see what this is about. So we'll see you guys then. Take care.